so we're gonna go over how to get into a squat suit. So Chris is gonna walk me through getting into a squat suit. Just for the for today, it's not a super tight suit, but you'll kind of get the idea.
So you obviously before you take any of your sets, your suit should be on. All right, definitely do not try and squat any weight with the suit not up all the way, because then you could really fuck yourself up. If the suit's not on all the way, it can kick your knees forward, send you backwards, and all stuff that you do not want to have happen.
I would say if the suit is really tight, you put some baby powder in there, things like that.
Baby powder definitely help you slide it on.
You wear any like compression shorts?
Compression shorts, suit slippers, anything that's not skin, direct skin is going to make it easier for the suit to come on. All right, so first thing we want to do is, me personally, I like to tuck everything in. That's how I like to do it.
Yeah, more materials is going to bunch up.
Yeah. He doesn't have briefs on, which is going to make things a lot easier. But what he's going to do is, to get the suit on first, is any rack, any bar, doesn't really matter. The tighter you can get the straps on top of the suit, the easier it's going to be. We're just using gravity here. All right, so you want to do 2 straps at a time to start, and then after you do 2 straps, then what I do is I like to then put both straps on over the bar. So roll it, wrap it, however you want to do it. It's easier if you have somebody to help you. So they're just going to get behind. Just do it this way first. Just the back straps. Go.
Okay.
All right, so you're just going to hold on. You're just going to let gravity do its trick. If you have a higher rack, it'll make your life easier, because then you can just kind of hang, kind of like what we got right now. And then after you do the back straps, then I would say go all over. And then I like to do them actually real tight.
Okay.
Just pull that on.
It's almost like you're kind of putting
Yeah.
it on.
Almost as if you were putting it on normal.
So I'm pulling it in the front, he's pulling in the back.
And then you're just going to do the same thing. You're just going to hang, and you can kind of sit there all day long. But you want to make sure that it's up all the way in the ass, but also in the crotch, because if it's not, it's going to pull your knees in more than it already does. Right? So
I can say I'm feeling it's pretty up high in my crotch, and so this is a
and it's definitely up all the way in the back. So
now, if I don't have a partner, if I, for whatever reason I don't have a rack available, maybe the rack's been taken up underneath, I could kind of just, wiggle it on a little bit more. And
one thing that I've actually is, if you put it on real tight,
okay.
just like if you were taking, a third or whatever, and do some lunges.
Yeah, so I really find this very helpful.
That definitely makes it a lot easier. You don't have to hang. You don't need any help. The only problem is taking your strap.
So I would say, especially in the case of like a sumo deadlift, if this is not high enough and like you're catching like the
you're gonna clip the leg.
It's gonna be a huge problem. So I find that like kind of, we call it a Cossack squat or like a side lunge. You hold on to something, hold on to a pole, hold on to a barbell. Just kind of like side lunge motion, kind of just getting that higher up in the crotch. It's going to be really, really critical, especially for the deadlift, because you don't want I'm sure that we've all kind of nicked your fingernail on your leg or on the bottom of it.
And it doesn't feel very good.
It feels really awful, and you get like kind of cut up there. So that's basically it. If you do have briefs on.
If you have briefs on, obviously it's gonna take a little bit longer. One thing that I actually watched, what's his name? Lewis do it. The last time I was here. He put his briefs on over his suit slippers, then pulled his suit slippers out and put his suit slippers on top of his briefs.
He's pretty crafty.
Yeah. Anything that's going to make it slide up easier is going to make your life easier. So whether that's baby powder, like I said before, you can use plastic bags. I've seen people use plastic bag in meets. Just throw that on and slide it up and then pull the plastic bag out.
And I would say, especially if it's hot, like the baby powder is really important, because if you start getting sticky and sweaty before you're on the gear, especially in the summertime, you're a real pain, and if you have some people to help you out. If you are just putting on briefs by themselves, you're not going to have the straps to kind of help you.
You're going to
just roll it. So we can just pull this down. So we'll just kind of show you what that would look like. I'm going to pull these down a little bit just for demonstration. So if these straps weren't here, it's a little bit lower. So if these straps weren't lower, like obviously you can pretend these aren't here, I would have to kind of do the same thing, kind of roll this on, and then kind of do a similar thing. Some people like to use a bench. They hook themselves on a bench. Some of like the newer, I know like Donnie would actually get like little hooks.
Yeah, you can have them sewn on, yeah, to make
sewn onto his
it
briefs just to make it a little bit easier to kind of, and you can kind of use either the monolift hooks or a J-cup or a bench to kind of do that. It would just be kind of a similar thing, and then Chris would have to kind of come in the back and help me as well. So we can kind of show you what that would look like. And it's the same kind of difference. It's just obviously a little bit easier to get the suit on as opposed to the briefs on with straps. And yes, it depends on how many layers you have and things like that. If you're a newer lifter, obviously we recommend just starting with one layer. So whether you're just doing the briefs or suit only or suit bottoms, whatever you want to do. Then some of the suits on the market now, they have those adjustable legs. Which can also make it a little bit easier to slip on and off, and you can always adjust the legs later. So it really kind of depends on what you have, but this is some general tips. I don't know if there's any other general tips for getting the suit on and off. But
me personally, I want to work the least, like I don't want to work hard to get my suit on. Because there's been times at meets where I'm spending, 10, 15 minutes trying to get my gear on, and I'm dead. And then I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta go take an attempt. So however you figure it out, whatever works best for you, definitely make sure or try as best as you can to, conserve energy, right? You don't want to be taking 25 minutes to get your gear on and then have to go finish your workout.
And I would say depending on the meet, the venue, the warm-up area, you want to be courteous, but make sure you're not rushing.
Yeah, no, I mean,
even in a workout setting, like you need to take your time. Maybe you need to start warming up before, like Chris, for example, we helped him out I guess 2 meets ago in November, and we just tried to help him out like with the plates on and off quicker and things like that. Because since he was opening up so much heavier than everyone else, it really helps to have some people. You don't want to. The point of that story is that you don't want to be rushing. And like I said, we were happy to help him, but people are not always so courteous to help. So you want to make sure you have enough time.
You want to make sure you have enough time,
whether it's a workout or at a meet.
You want to make sure that you're courteous, but you also need to make sure that you're looking out for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Don't
get your warm-ups in.
Make sure you're getting your warm-ups in. Don't if someone's like, oh, I need to take this, be like, oh, you take it after I take my set, or something like that. I mean, you don't have to be a dick about it, but
when it's your time to go, it's your time.
Yeah, when it's your time to you put in the time to train for the meet. Don't let something silly like letting people pass you in the warm-up room to fuck up your opener.
Yeah, so sometimes I know I don't know if I've had situations where I've had to skip. I've had to make bigger jumps.
Right.
Sometimes you got to make jumps on the fly. Where there was one time where I remember I don't know, I went from like I was supposed to take something in between. I remember I went from like 700 to 850 on the platform or something. Things like that.
Because things happen in the warm-up room.
Kind of adjust.
You don't end up taking your last warm-up and you're jumping from 750 to 9.
Yeah, we actually
925.
Lewis one meet, which was Lewis, because he had to warm up so fast, because again his opener was so much heavier. Lewis Band, one of our lifters, also an 800 plus squatter. He actually missed a warm-up in the warm-up room. I'm like, don't worry about it. And I was kind of freaking out a little bit. But he was just so fatigued, he was so gassed because we had to. And I'm like, don't worry about it, And luckily he was able to regroup himself, and he ended up hitting a very big. I think it was his first 800 squat in the meet.
Was that in November?
Yeah.
He missed the warm-up room, right?
He missed the warm-up room.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Not exactly how you want to start the meet, but so sometimes you're better off taking your first couple of warm-ups kind of quick.
So that's what I was going to say.
You're a little bit ahead of the game. So whether it's a training session or like sometimes if I know sometimes Chris, your training partners sometimes going raw.
Yeah.
So you might take 1, 2, 3, 4 really fast.
That's what I was going to say, especially on meet day.
Ahead of the game.
Especially on meet day, I like to take all my raw warm-ups relatively fast, like
so then you take your time, not rushing when it actually matters.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then let everyone else take theirs so that I can put my briefs on, I can relax.
Adjusting the mono up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes actually everything go a lot smoother than you have to wait till the height to change again. You got to load the plates on and off. So I know sometimes with myself, like let's say like if I'm you know, I might be working up to something in the 800s for a workout, and all my training partners, like maybe, you know, the next guy up is only doing 500 or 600.
Right.
I might do a couple of warm-ups just to get ahead of the game, just so like we're not.
When it comes time, yeah, exactly. Because if you're going from, if you're taking 4 and the next person's taking a plate and a quarter, right? It's going to take a time that no one wants to. Obviously, we love doing this, but you don't want to be spending your entire day changing plates.
Yeah,
You know,
and
doing
I
stuff like
think
that.
well, that's one of the things that a lot of people maybe complain about equip lifting or even raw with wraps, like it takes a while, but if you have a strategy and you have a plan
Right.
and you prepare for it, I mean, we had, close to 10 people today,
Maybe more than that.
and we got through relatively quick. We got a lot of good work in, and it was, you know, people literally, there's our lightest lifter, a female lifter, she did 105, and then you were working up to like over 700 pounds with bands.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a big disparity in ability, but since we were able to like, it can be chaotic at times, but everyone was helping each other out.
As long as everyone helps and everyone's doing something in between, that's what I found. As long as, whether it's stripping a plate when, you know, or somebody putting a plate on and somebody taking one off, it just, as long as it can keep moving, everyone's life is, you know, easier.
Cool. So those are some warm-up tips for also just how to get into your squat suit, because we found there was not a lot of videos on just getting into gear, and also just some general advice. If you are an equipped lifter, and maybe you're training with your training partners are raw, or you get ready to meet and you're dealing with a lot of raw lifters, these are some strategies, because we do want to help you guys out. We do want to help promote. There are many different ways to lift. There's many different ways to compete in powerlifting. I hope this video helped you guys. Please subscribe if it helped you. Give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.
Thumbs up.